Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host AMF 1534 here, and today on Rush to Extreme Racing USA, Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. Totally my favorite Lampoon's Vacation movie. I love Vegas Vacation. Whenever it's on, it's like Matrix syndrome for me. Like I have to watch the whole damn thing. And if you can see, actually, when it comes back around, the last time I went to Vegas, I stayed at the Luxor, which is that black pyramid right there. So always nice to know that places that I've been are totally there. So you guys are probably going to look at this track later on and be like, what the hell were you so excited about when when you've been raving about this track the whole time? And be like, well, I mean, yeah, first of all, there's this cool little shortcut with a key. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the only keys that we've really picked up in this little playthrough so far. But I don't know, it's a fun track. Like I like the lights. I like the song they use here. I don't know. I think it's a really cool representation of Vegas. I think it's awesome. You got all the casinos out here, and you got like the crazy light up neon signs. You have the extremely weird skyline back there, where the mountain range and the purple and red. It kind of looks like a cotton candy type of thing going on back there. And I mean, if there's anything that Las Vegas reminds me of immediately, is it reminds me of Evening Call. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know what Evening Call is, it is one of the world's treasures. I talked about it a long time ago in here, but I think it's high time that we go back and talk about it again. Evening Call is, I don't even know, I know they have a million places like this in Vegas, but Evening Call is my favorite one because it's one that is installed in the Luxor, Excalibur, and Mandalay Bay, I believe. And it is it's a little place where you can get alcoholic slushies, because who doesn't love that? I mean, and you can get them in like those giant like plastic cups that are like, they're like 100 ounces or whatever, and you pay a one-time fee up front, and then you pay a smaller fee for refills. And man, those things are money. They're so good. And they've got like a bunch of different flavors. They've got a black one that's got Jaeger in it, which I think is disgusting, but there's plenty of people that are like, oh my god, Jaeger, Yegs for legs, get her pregs, bacon and eggs, blah blah blah. Oh boy, and we're flipping upside down magically. Don't really know how that goes about to happen, but apparently it did, so we're gonna have to roll with it. So yeah, dude, I love that place though. I had way too many of those last time I was there though, but yeah, I think the reason why I was so excited for this track is I mean it's probably the easiest one in the whole game, like design wise, and just what's here. I mean, there's a very long straightaway here that takes up probably at least a quarter of the whole thing. And I love Las Vegas. Like, I'm actually intently trying to go there this year for the fighting game championships, good old Evo 2015. But for the last couple years, I've been like kind of slowly getting back into, I've been getting into fighting games a lot more, not necessarily playing them, because I'm not particularly good at most of them besides like Tekken 3. I'm pretty solid at that, but definitely not at competition definitely not at competition level. But I've been getting into it more, and like I know that they hold the Evo deal down in Vegas every year, and so I've been really wanting to go to that. And so I think that this year I'm gonna take a crack at it, and I might go and just kind of enjoy it, because I need a vacation anyways. I've been running myself into the ground for a while, and I think that I really need to get away from it all. So I think that'd be an awesome time to do that. And I'm pretty sure that don't they do that whole thing in like May? I think that's typically when they do that little convention of sorts. Oh, this guy's driving a Beamer. No wonder why he's been giving me problems this whole time. Good old Cease, Cease and Desist. How is that not his name? I mean, that's like an awesome little nickname. And his name's Cecil. You could totally roll with Cease and Desist, and that'd be awesome. Well, whatever. Alright, going into the final lap here. Oh boy, this could get me killed. Okay, we're good. That can be a tough one. A big piece of advice, and I'll probably end up mentioning it again when we play this track backwards, is do not try to enter this shortcut backwards. You are it's not a wise choice. You are signing your death warrant, and you will die so fast. It's just it's not a very good idea. It's really not. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring this up. I was talking about this last night on Facebook, and it was something that it was something that I saw on Twitter somewhere. Which, speaking of Twitter, and this has really nothing to do with Twitter in general, but a big RIP to Leonard Nimoy, man. I heard about that. There's so many people dying anymore. Like, it's so sad, but I mean, I understand. Like, he was 83 and he was already not in like the greatest of health in the first place. But man, it's sad. Like, you seeing like I mean, there's going to be more and more and more of our childhood icons that are going to be, you know, dying in the next probably 10 or 15 years, and that's going to be really depressing. So yeah, dude. And like his last thing that he said on Twitter was actually like really cool. I don't remember the exact quote. I posted it on my Instagram, but I was like, man, if you're gonna go out, like if you're gonna have one last tweet left, I mean, not like he was a super avid Twitter user or anything, but I mean, if you're gonna go out, you might as well have a really awesome tweet, and he totally had one. It was like all like inspirational and like wise and everything, which, go figure, leave it to Spock to have wise words for the masses. And yeah, I also found out that my old chiropractor, he died yesterday. He was in the newspaper this morning, and he was in the obituary thing. Which, when I heard about it, 'cause my dad called me, when I heard about it, I really wasn't surprised. Like, I was, because I was like, oh shit, like he died, and he was only I think he was only in like his mid to late 40s. So, I mean, it wasn't like, it obviously wasn't like, oh, it was kind of like, oh my god, like he died young. But then I realized that he was addicted to drugs, and so that totally makes sense. I mean, not like that's like ha 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 type of moment. Oh my god, we're getting New York downtown at the same time. All right, we've already had that once, but I mean, now we're getting him. This is good. So yeah, he died of heart failure, which, I mean, seeing as he definitely used extreme amounts of amphetamines over probably the last like 5 years. He had his chiropractic firm, and then he lost it. I don't remember the exact reasoning for it. It wasn't for like malpractice or anything, but he lost his firm, and then he, pretty much in a nutshell, he completely went insane. I mean that in the kindest sense of the word, but like his marriage fell apart, he lost his business, and I mean, from that he pretty much just lost himself, really. I mean, this entire thing is getting pretty dark right now, but yeah, he basically went nuts. And like, I get it, man, like his entire life pretty much was stripped away from him right there, and so unfortunately he took the wrong path out of that, and he started doing a lot of drugs, and yeah, it was not good. And like, and what's even worse, oh crap, what's even worse is that he got his children into it. So like his son started getting into, I mean, he mainly was only into pot, so I mean, it's not like, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world, but I kind of wonder now if his kid started getting into like all the amphetamines and stuff that he was doing, and I really hope not. Because kid was only like 15 or 16 last I saw him, so I really hope he doesn't get into the wrong thing with that. But whoop! Oh, we got it! Yeah! I don't know if I picked up any other Mountain Dew cans in this game, so I think that may have been your first little taste of what getting Mountain Dew cans is like in this game. And yes, when you get one, in case you missed it, in case your ears failed you, you will actually hear it pouring an imaginary glass of crisp Mountain Dew, and you will hear an imaginary disembodied voice, not an imaginary one, but it's a disembodied voice that totally has an orgasmic ah over it. Which, I get it. I mean, there are definitely times when Mountain Dew is extremely quenching, but that is only about 1% of the time, because 99% of the time it just makes it feel like somebody is pouring battery acid in your stomach. Okay, let's do this. Let's not do what we did before. Let's just drive this track. We are at a vast disadvantage right now. We got ourselves in a big hole from a couple of untimely explosions. That car actually looks like Mountain Dew. So, okay, so back to my main point that I was going at earlier before I got sidetracked and all this stuff. I was sitting here thinking, on Twitter, somebody posted, if it were to come down to, if it were to come down to one of two situations, what would you be more terrified of? A zombie apocalypse, which I know that most of you initially would probably be like, oh my god, yeah. A zombie apocalypse or a robot apocalypse, because for me, and this is my personal opinion, I'm sure some of you guys will disagree with me, but, you know, hear me out on this. I think that if we had a robot apocalypse, that would be infinitely more terrifying than a zombie one. Oh my god, we almost landed on that sign. Not like it would have done anything, but I think a robot apocalypse is much more terrifying because it's far more feasible to happen. Like, technology's getting crazy these days. Like, you're getting robots, you know, and like, you know, you're getting machines that can do things on their own without any, you know, programming. Like, you're getting robots that are, you know, like, you're getting robots that can, you know, park cars on their own, and ones that can, like, you know, create personalities and, like, learn how to do things on their own. Like, I just read something yesterday about a robot that can learn to play video games without any instruction, which is awesome because, I mean, who wouldn't want to play, you know, those against robots? All the Warcraft gold farmers out of that. You don't even have to pay, you know, Asian kids to do it for you. You can just have robots do it. And, like, even, you know, things as simple as, like, the Roomba, where you can have a robot vacuum your house for you. Just a little disc vacuum that does it all for you. You don't even have to freaking do anything. But, like, imagine if all of those things, you know, started gaining sentience and went completely AWOL and turned on the creators, and next thing you know, we have robots that are trying to kill everybody. And the worst part is that we are vastly outnumbered by them. So that's a big problem. With zombies, I mean, it's taking the existing human beings and turning them into, you know, pretty much the mindless undead. Depending on what type of zombies we get, I suppose. If they turn into, you know, like the DayZ ones, which I don't like the new concept. Oh no, oh no, oh no, I'm gonna ruin this! No, why did I do that? Crap. I shouldn't have done that, man. That was a terrible idea. Well, we're guaranteed to totally not get first place now, because I just had to take that shortcut, even though we were in first place. And I blew it. And we may not even get second, we may only get third out of this. Which is exactly what looks like is going to happen here. We ended up getting third. Damn it! Oh, yeah, that's how I feel. Just crash and burn explosion. But yeah, dude, I don't know, I think Robot Apocalypse is creepy, because, like, if it happens, I feel like robots are infinitely harder to destroy than zombies, because, I mean, you can shoot zombies enough times and they'll die. Like, even though they're already dead inside, like emo kids. But, 5 points lost there. But with robots, I mean, there would have to be a point at some point, because of how smart robots can get, that, I mean, at some point nuclear weaponry is going to have to come out somewhere, because it'd be so hard to contain them. Really, if you think about it. With zombies, I mean, they're based off of our understanding of them, I guess. I mean, it's not like they're really a real thing, but based off of our conceptual understanding of zombies, I mean, if you can get them all into one area, I mean, you can just go blow them up and that's the end of it. You wouldn't even really need nuclear weaponry for that. But, pretty sure with robots it'd be a little bit harder to do that, just because they're a little bit smarter than that. So, that's why it's like a realistic fear, because, like, here I am right now playing this on my computer. What if my computer all of a sudden decided that, you know, the you know, covering on my tower was gonna fly off and it was just gonna start, like, firing pieces away at me? That'd be all sorts of creepy. Or, like, you know, your coffee maker while you're making your morning cup of joe decides to come alive and, you know, spray all that coffee in your face and burn your eyes out. I mean, we'd have ourselves a very legitimate problem here. Or even, you know, just things as simple as, like, you're driving your car, and then your car's chip takes over, and it just goes and slams you into a wall at full speed. Like, that's something that could realistically happen. Or, like, you know, you got autopilot going on an airplane with, you know, 100 passengers in there or whatever, and the thing just decides, guess what? We're gonna crash today, and I'm gonna kill everybody aboard. Why not? Like, that could totally happen. We could have a complete genocide of the human race going on here and have a robot-controlled world. Dun dun dun. So, maybe I'm off my hinges and I'm completely losing my mind, but I don't know. You never know. These things could happen. It really could. I mean, if there's anything that I know about the world is that, I mean, Tommy Pickles and Chucky definitely have a fairly realistic idea of what to be afraid of, because there was that one episode of Rugrats way back when, probably close to 20 years ago, when they thought that Tommy's dad was a robot, and they tried to pry his nipples off with a plastic screwdriver. Which, that would be painful, man. Like, you're just laying there in bed, totally asleep, and then all of a sudden, you know, your infant child and his little, you know, best friend come up onto your bed, and they try to rip your nipples off. It was actually, I think it was actually with a toy, like a wrench, I think is what it was actually, and that would suck. I'd be like, yeah, that's your problem. And then, you know, there was the part where he just kind of like started sleepwalking around. Obviously, he looked like a robot in the process. And then he decided to go down into the kitchen and make his patented little 14-egg omelet, where he was talking to the imaginary super hot chick in his mind. Which, I'm surprised that his wife didn't leave him over that. She'd be like, if it was a girl nowadays, she'd be like, oh my god, you're cheating on me. I don't even care if you're not. You said someone else's name. I'm leaving you right now because I'm an asshole. So yeah, man, robot apocalypse. That's a much more realistic thing in my mind than zombies. I mean, not to mention the whole thing with zombies is like, I mean, it's not something that immediately happens really quickly. It's not like all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and every human being beside yourself on the planet is a zombie. I mean, that's something that gradually spreads and happens. But like, you know, you get scientists and doctors could develop vaccines for that type of thing and totally find a way to kill the virus, and then what do you know? The whole thing's, you know, the whole war is over and you're good. But I mean, unless you could find a way to completely, you know, have like a global EMP and like short circuit out all the machines or whatever. I mean, we'd basically be looking at another version of the Matrix, where it's just everybody against the machines. All right, baby, here we go. We really got to gain those points back that we just lost in that last race there, which sucks because I usually when I do New York downtown as a race, like that's almost like 9 times out of 10 that is a guaranteed first place for me. Like I never wreck 2 out of 3 times on that jump where we go through the gate, or even the one where I went through like that little tiny parking garage and I, you know, tried to split the building and go up on the rooftop. Like I normally never botch that one either, and I totally did both of them. And so yeah, man, and we still almost came out with it anyways. But rough times, man. It's rough going in here. It's kind of like the Blazer game going on in the other room. They were doing just fine, and then all of a sudden they just completely fell apart, and they're down by like 14 at halftime. So hopefully they get their head out of their dick, because I would enjoy them not losing. Okay, here's the hard part. We're gonna have to hold them off, and so far I have been absolutely terrible at doing this in this game, which I'm normally really good at doing this. I mean, you guys saw the Gran Turismo 2 Let's Play. I've kind of always been a master at that craft of being able to hold these guys off, and I'll have to do it here again, because that is the one drawback of the compact car in this particular race, is that because its top end speed isn't the highest in the world, you will have cars that will catch up to you like that. But we held them off, so we are good. Thank God. That's a situation where having a car like the Concept, or I don't even know what the other one was. The Concept or the Exotic, I think is what it was. Those have like the highest top end speed in the game. So I mean, if you're running that race backwards and you can get into that stretch right there with with a lead, you're not going to lose, because they will have enough top end speed to be able to hold everybody off. So. Alright guys, well, we have run out of time for this episode. We've only got 4 races left to go, and we've got a nice 15-point lead, so unless something drastic changes here, then we're going to be in pretty good shape. So when we come back next time on Rush 2 Extreme Racing USA, we are going back downtown for another try, see if we can redeem ourselves after that total debacle at the end. So until then, my friends, this is your host, AMF1534 here, saying thank you guys for watching. And hopefully the robots don't take over between now and the next time I see you, because that'll fucking suck. So you guys take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.